At 5 with that breaking news, Cornelius police giving a statement right now on Mădălinei Kojikari.
As mentioned, today is her 12th birthday. Little girl been missing for 5 months. Let's listen to the chief now.
Hundreds of hours investigating this case and continue to follow up on the case daily as we search for Mădălinei. Our hope is that the public will continue to share Mădălinei's story and pictures as we continue to investigate this case. I'd like to thank our partners with the FBI and also the North Carolina SBI and the many other law enforcement agencies who have assisted us throughout this investigation. So several of you submitted questions, and I'm going to go through them and provide answers for the questions that I can. The first question, have Mădălinei's parents spoken at all about their daughter's disappearance? The parents were interviewed prior to their arrest, but I cannot speak anything further about what they said. Is there any indication that she may have been transported outside the U.S.? At this point, we're not ruling anything out. Was there anything suspicious found inside or outside Mădălinei's home? We can't comment on anything that was found during those searches. Do we still have hope of finding her? Yes, we have hope of finding her. Are new tips still coming in? Yes, we are still receiving new tips. Where does this investigation stand and what's being done today to bring the girl home? We're doing everything we can to find Mădălinei. What was found at the Kojikari residence in the various searches with the DA's office? We can't comment on any of the items that were taken during those searches. How many other law enforcement agencies are involved in this investigation? Are they domestic or international? The FBI and the SBI from North Carolina are the primary agencies that have assisted us throughout this investigation. Are there any additional resources needed between those two agencies and the resources our agency has? We have all the resources we need at this time. Is there anything the public can do to help? Yes, you can continue to share Mădălinei's story and posts that the police department sends out. Have the mother and stepfather been forthcoming or cooperative with the investigation, or any further charges for Diana Kojikari or Christopher Palmer are pending? We cannot comment on the details of that. What was the connection in Madison County, North Carolina, and was anything found? Again, we cannot comment on that. Have the extended relatives said anything more or sent additional messages to the community, and are they being considered for any crimes? Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and we cannot comment on that. There were reports of burning furniture in the Kojikari backyard before Mădălinei's disappearance. Is there evidence of that happening? Yes, there was one call for service in reference to Diana Kojikari burning items before Mădălinei was reported missing. Do you believe Mădălinei is still alive? If yes, where do you believe she might be? Who do you think she might be with? And if no, what do you think happened to her? Again, our goal is to find Mădălinei. Do you believe Mădălinei could have been trafficked? Do you think it's possible her mother and stepfather could be responsible for that? This is an ongoing investigation, and again, we cannot comment on those details. Can you confirm if Christopher Palmer traveled to Michigan during the window of Mădălinei's disappearance? And what do you believe he did there? And what could be the significance of his trip as it relates to this investigation? Again, this is an ongoing investigation, and we cannot release those details. I would ask that each of you join us on the west side of our department, at 6 p.m. tonight for a public gathering to honor Mădălinei for her 12th birthday. And that's all I have for the prepared statement at this time.
Chief Bachman, if I may, we've talked a lot about this remaining a priority. Are you able to say that this remains a priority? If leads are becoming more scarce, how long will this remain a priority?
Finding Mădălinei is our top priority. It has been since she was reported missing, and we'll continue to search for her until we find her.
And do you know how many resources or personnel you have on this case or investigation on it?
It varies from day to day, but we still have our individual resources, but we also have the resources of the SBI and FBI who are working on this case as well.
And I know you're not allowed to really reveal any details at this time. You said, are you able to reveal, is this going well? Is there anything? Are there steps that are...
The investigation is progressing. That's about all I can say.
Can you speak to the part about whether or not the parents, usually in a case like this, you may hear early on that there are certain suspects or persons of interest. Can you at least speak to if you all have suspects or persons of interest?
That's all part of our investigation, and I can't comment on any of those specifics at this time.
So following up on that, let me just, if I may politely press you on that. It's been some months now, and we have heard that consistently, that there's a lot in this case that you will not and cannot comment on. Right. Can you explain to people, since this has captured so much attention, in a new way why there's so much about this case that you cannot come in?
We simply cannot jeopardize the investigation and any charges that may be forthcoming on anyone involved.
And what we have heard, if you commented more, that would jeopardize your
It could potentially jeopardize it, yes.
prosecution? What?
All of the above. So that's why we're holding all the details we can close at hand.
Chief, are more charges forthcoming in this case?
As the investigation progresses, potentially, but at this time, I can't say one way or the other if they are.
Have you uncovered any evidence that would lead you or your team to believe that Mădălinei is still alive or perhaps not alive?
That's all part of our ongoing investigation, and I can't comment. Sorry.
Have you considered whether keeping so much close to the vest has hindered this investigation in any way?
I have considered it, and I do not believe that it has.
Chief, are you hopeful for finding Mădălinei or for finding answers in all of this?
Absolutely. We're hopeful that we're going to find her and we're going to be able to answer all of your questions at a future time.
What is the break you need?
Well, if we knew what the break was, we would have it and we would be moving forward already. But there's information out there that someone in the public or someone has that we need to help us locate her. And again, that's been our goal from the start.
So you believe there's someone out there that knows something else?
We believe there's information out there that could help us close out this investigation, yes.
Chief, can you speak a little bit about, speak to the community's frustration that there's so little known about this case, so much being kept close to the chest to protect the integrity of the investigation?
Not specifically, other than that's typical with any investigation of this scope. You know, we want to keep the community and the media and everyone as involved as we can, but we just simply can't.
Can you speak a little bit about the search warrants that were revealed back in February that indicated that Diana had spoken to a distant relative regarding possibly smuggling her and Mădălinei out of the home?
Yeah, I cannot comment on any of the specifics from the search warrant, sorry.
Was it the department's intention to keep those search warrants concealed?
In an investigation like this, yes, we want to keep all the information we can close at hand.
Do you foresee any additional charges coming against Ms. Kochikar and Mr. Palmer?
Again, I answered that in one of the earlier questions. That's all part of the ongoing investigation.
In the police report, I know that there was a time when the stepfather traveled to Michigan and so forth. Are you guys working with other departments in other states, or is there any work being done?
We're working with the FBI and the North Carolina SBI, and the FBI would be the primary agency who would assist us in that type of lead.
One of the questions that have come about have pertained to a possible drug smuggling connection with one of Diana's relatives. Is that something you all are investigating or have ruled out?
Well, as I said in one of the earlier questions, we're not ruling anything out at this point.
So, following up on, since you believe there's someone out there, something or someone out there that may know more that could help this, any message for that person or that?
Please come forward and give us any information that you have, or if you know someone that has information, please provide it to us so that we can continue the investigation.
Chief, earlier in this investigation, your own department came forth releasing a video on social media stating that Mădălinei's parents, truthfully, you believe know more than they were letting on. Why now can the department not release more about their cooperation in the investigation?
Because the investigation has progressed, and we're just simply not going to release any more details about that.
At the end of the day, this is an 11, now 12-year-old girl. We've talked about this. This is something that's close to your heart, and I'm sure to a lot of your officers who have families, who have kids that may be that age. How does this motivate your department even more? How is it kind of hitting your hearts?
It motivates us just like it would motivate any parent or any community that had something like this happen. This is not something that any community ever expects to happen, and when it does happen, we're going to do everything we can to resolve it.
Has your department, the FBI or the SBI, sent investigators overseas to Moldova or any other country connected to this case? That's all part of the ongoing investigation, and I just can't comment.
And right now, as you guys are doing the investigation, there's nothing to indicate that she has passed away, that she has died, that everything is...
Our goal is to find Mădălinei. That's the goal, either way. Anything beyond that is part of our ongoing investigation.
One question here.
Yes, ma'am.
My understanding is the mother and the stepfather remain behind bars. I spoke with one community member who was concerned about them being back in this community at some point. There were further charges. What would you say to that?
We will not have any control if they're released from jail and they come back to this community or go to another community.
Does it make you feel better that their passports have been suspended?
Yes.
How many neighborhood ring cameras or other business video surveillance footage have you guys looked at?
I don't have an exact number, but I can tell you that during the initial onset of the investigation, we canvassed that neighborhood and the surrounding area, and we got any and all videos that we could that would pertain to this investigation.
Wanted to hear the answer to that question. You have been listening to Cornelius Police Chief David Bauckham talking about the Mădălinei Kojikari case. Today is her 12th birthday. Again, she has been missing for almost 5 months now. And Siobhan, repeated questions from the reporters there on scene, but really little information.
Very little. He says he has to protect the integrity of the investigation, but says they anticipate that someone out there knows something and that they're continuing to beg the public to come forward with any and all information that can help them find Mădălinei, answer all the questions, and figure out exactly what happened to her.
The goal remains the same, is to find this little girl. They say they have not given up hope on any of that. There are many leads that they are pursuing. The FBI is helping out, North Carolina State Police helping out as well as part of this investigation. But again, until we know more, they just aren't willing to say more at this time about warrants, anything, investigative leads at this point.
That's right, but something that he did confirm publicly for arguably the first time today, saying that there was a call for service for Diana Kojikari, Mădălinei's mother, burning items in the backyard in the window where Mădălinei was believed to be missing. We don't know if that's tied to anything, but of course there's been talk about that for quite some time, but they're optimistic that they will find her. And
all right, Becca, thank you. It's 5:33 this morning. The search continues for Bailey Middle School student Mădălinei Kojikari. Today is actually her 12th birthday.
Yes, and she was last seen on a school bus. That's the footage you're looking at here. This was in Cornelius back on November 21st of last year. Her parents didn't report her missing until December 15th, so weeks after this video was recorded. Law enforcement and the Cornelius community have not lost hope. Today they are honoring her and pushing forward the search in a very special way. Our Mary Calkins joins us live from the Cornelius Police Department. Mary, tell us what's happening today.
Well, Alex, just like you said, today is Mădălinei's 12th birthday, and the Cornelius Police Department is hosting a vigil here later today, not just to mark the occasion, but also really to push this search forward. Now, Diana Kojikari and Christopher Palmer are both behind bars this morning after failing to report Mădălinei missing. I went to Mădălinei's neighborhood to see how her neighbors are honoring the 12-year-old girl. Yellow ribbons covered rows of mailboxes, and neighbors wrapped the pillars at her house in yellow ribbon. Others left gifts for her, like flowers and a teddy bear. Mădălinei's neighbors say this has been a difficult time, but they have not lost hope that Mădălinei will return safely. Now, last month, we reported that documents revealed her mother, Diana, contacted a relative asking him to, quote, smuggle her and Mădălinei away. One neighbor I spoke with in the Victoria Bay neighborhood tells me he is praying for the entire family.
Well, we're praying that she's safe and that she's alive and well. We're praying that anything that has been done to her will be called into account, and that whoever is involved in this will have justice. But we're also praying for them as well, because they have a lot to answer for, and they're going to need God's help.
The vigil is happening here at 6 p.m. and WBTV will have a crew bringing you live coverage this evening. But for now, reporting live in Cornelius, Mary Calkins, WBTV, on your side.